joining this conference has really enlightened and exposed me a lot. Not having enough knowledge about disability is a disability in itself. And therefore, the need for us to be extra passionate about supporting people with disability, and then also not assuming all is well with everybody.
Article 9 of the Convention speaks to accessibility in all spaces, including digital accessibility. Article 21 also speaks to access to information, including through the use of ICTs, web platforms, and so on and so forth. So African countries should have measures to implement these obligations.
Most service providers have hardly considered persons with disabilities. But I believe that when we start having conversations like this, it serves as a catalyst to get these service providers on board.
Identification of the challenges within these products in terms of excluding some segments of the population need to be taken much more seriously. And I think as an industry in Kenya, we are very much committed in ensuring that no one is excluded in the provision of banking services. Within the roadmap of KBA, we agreed with the banks that we should have each bank branch across the country have somebody who can do sign language. And I think that is being rolled out pretty well in collaboration with other agencies. And of course, we anticipate that come next year, we should be reporting good progress in this space.
In the Africa continent, for example, on average, only 10% of those who need assistive technology access it, right? And that is completely unacceptable. Smartphones, I think, represents a huge opportunity to increase that access. And in fact, we're already seeing it, and we'll see more of it probably. It'll replace standalone assistive technology devices that are much more costly to buy, to maintain, etc. What I really hope to see out of this is tangible evidence, so to speak, that we can take to policymakers who are, today making the decisions around what to procure, what to include, and so that we can really help scale up that accessibility.
Google is funding the acquisition of 500 phones in India, in Kenya, and in Brazil, half dedicated to people with visual impairments, half dedicated to people with hearing impairments. And we're providing training on how to use these tools. Because the idea is if you have a device that works for you and you know how to use it properly, the risk of it being passed on is much less, because now you can go bank. You can build up your hustle, you can do email, all these things that you get to do when you have a modern smartphone. So we wanted to see if you have a tool that's useful and you're taught how to use it, what does it do for your life? Learn about what's working and what's not working so we can make them better, and then everybody benefits.
The research shows a lot of disparity and such a big gap. So I hope after this we can both take it home and try and be more digitally inclusive, and also remember to include people with disabilities.
The disability community, no doubt, needs to be more vocal, needs to be more out there, and needs to be more intentional about what it's doing to flip the script.
It requires also efforts, Irene, from persons with disabilities themselves. Because we are not only talking about policies, about laws, but we are also talking about their willingness to effectively make use of these resources. Because it will be meaningless if a lot of resources were concentrated, I want to say, around ensuring that persons with disabilities have that independence, they have that leverage to tap from inclusive technology when they themselves are not making effort.